Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about my belief on what you should focus on when creating your game. To me, when I set out to create my trading cards game Godwrath, I had a vision of what I wanted to create in my mind. A beautiful looking trading cards game that gave players as many options as possible. As many of the games that I played at that time didn't really give players that many options. So when I started creating Godwrath, I wanted to create a game that looked great but also played great. But I soon realized that to give my game that flashy, shiny appearance, an artwork that first draws you into a new game, had to spend lots of money on it. And that was something I wasn't willing to do at that time. So I believe when creating a game on a budget, you should focus more on the gameplay of the game than on the art and the look of the game. You may want to create that shiny, flashy game in your head, but I believe that focusing your time and money on the gameplay will be far more rewarding in the long run for you and your game than focusing on trying to make the game as good looking or more good looking than other games on the market. I believe the appearance of a game is like icing on a cake. If you can afford to spend more money on it, do it to a reasonable degree. If you can't, do not sacrifice your limited funds on it. A good playing game that gets traction is always more successful and have a longer lasting player base than a game that looks stunning, is marketed very well, but have terrible gameplay. In the end, if your game becomes successful, and if your budget increases later on down the road, you can always improve the graphics of it by creating graphic upgrade versions, and you can always introduce newer content with better graphics. My final advice is, do not fret or worry over how your game looks or will look. The rules and mechanics of a game matter far more than the graphics, as they are the foundation of the game. It's easy to remove and change the icing on the cake, but changing the entire cake is another story. If your beautiful cake tastes bad, no one will be willing to stick around long enough for you to make a better tasting version of it. The cake analogy works very well for games, as good looking food that tastes very bad leaves you thinking never again. But when you see a great tasting food that doesn't look as good, you will shun it for the first time you see it. But when more and more people tell you how great the food is, how great the food tastes, you will have no choice at some point but to close your eyes and give it a try, just once. So that's it for this video. If you like the video, please subscribe and check out Godwrath, my customizable trading cards game. The links will be in the description box below. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.